Hello there, my name is Kamal. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I posted a video, and I know, consistency, but the world is going through uncertain times right now. I will definitely try to post more videos in the coming days. As usual, we're talking about technology because I love technology, and today our focus is on one of the most controversial things in Kenya: iPhones. Oh, you thought it was politics? No, it's iPhones. Depending on who you ask, an iPhone is either a masterpiece or an overpriced piece of trash. I, however, like to take a more objective look at things. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get right into it. The iPhone 6s was released in September of 2015 in two variants: the 6s and the 6s Plus, that were going for about $649 to $749 for the base models, respectively. Of course, as usual in Kenya, the price was heavily inflated by about 20,000 shillings. That's about $200, as it usually is for branded goods in third world countries. When it came out, the iPhone 6s was the epitome of power, portability, and sleekness. Here in 2020 though, things have changed. The iPhone 6s's design is still acceptable today, though you'll have to suffer with the huge bezels on the top and bottom of the screen. The bottom bezel is there to accommodate the home button, which some people can't live without. This is a far cry from the edge-to-edge display we see on smartphones these days. Something that also sets this device apart is it is still a small phone, which you can use with one hand, unlike the massive phones we get today. It is made of aluminium in the back and sides, and overall still feels good in the hand. It is thin but sturdy, unlike its predecessor, the iPhone 6, which bended a lot. Overall, apart from the big bezels, the iPhone 6s is still a well-built phone, and it's much more manageable than the new iPhones, which are made of glass in front and back, and I hope you have deep pockets if you break those. It's also worth pointing out that this was the last iPhone to have a headphone jack, so you can enjoy pretty decent earphones that come in the box and others that you buy. The display on this phone is still good. It's a 4.7-inch display that has a resolution of about 1334 x 750, which means that it's not the sharpest display in the world, but it gets the job done for anything you want to do on it. It is not the best experience for watching movies and shows. There are much better options for that on the Android side. That is if you can consider an Android. For those who will dispute this, remember that Apple is still using the same display in the iPhone SE 2020, which, as you can gather from its name, was released in 2020. The iPhone 6s is still a pretty powerful phone here in 2020. With its A9 chip and 2 gigs of RAM, it gives iOS a lot of power to play with. It also has a variety of storage options from 16GB, which you should not buy. Do not buy a 16GB smartphone in 2020. That's just spelling doom for your storage. To 128GB. It still runs apps very well, and it runs iOS 13, which at the time of filming is the latest iOS version, and will get iOS 14 later this year. Everything is smooth and works well, just as you would expect from an Apple device. Allow me to take a moment to acknowledge the amazing work that Apple does with software updates. There is no Android phone from the same year that is still getting updates from the manufacturer. Apple is really doing such a good job with updates, and I think Android manufacturers should learn from that. Onto the camera. Yes, you heard that right. Camera. Singular, because it just has one of those. But seriously, the iPhone 6s can still take really good photos. There are cameras with much better quality here in 2020, but those are Androids. And seriously, this phone can take really good photos with good dynamic range, and the iPhone can also record video at up to 4K. Yes, 4K. And a range of other resolutions, including 1080p and 720p. It can also record slow-mo footage, which is really cool. The front camera, however, has not aged very well, and but it can also shoot 1080p video. These cameras are still passable provided you don't ask too much of them. On screen are some of the samples I took. On to the weakest part of this device, and that's the battery life. Small iPhone buyers have always gotten a lot of slack because they've always needed a charger because their phone is always dying, and people with the 6S are no exception. It has laughably bad battery life for 2020. In a time where phones are going 2 days or a day and a half without needing a charge, you'll be lucky to get a few hours out of this phone. God forbid you get this phone second hand or as a hand-me-down from a family member who has been using it, because, and allow me to get a little bit technical here, the battery health will be low. What is battery health, you ask? I'm glad you ask. I got you. So it turns out the amount of charge a lithium-ion battery can hold degrades over time. This means the amount of charge your device can hold degrades over time. Apple added a feature where you can check the battery health after they were caught slowing down their phones, and this is given as a percentage figure. So for example, if you have 80%, then your device, when charged to 100%, holds only 80% of its original charge. So for this iPhone 6S, that's about 1372 milliamp hours. And in an age where phones have batteries with over 4000 milliamp hours, it's simply not enough. The software does help out a little bit, but overall the battery life is really bad and you need to plug in every few hours. The conclusion is that this is still an iPhone in every sense of the word. Good design, albeit some chunky bezels, passable camera, good performance, and terrible battery life. Is it still worth it in 2020? Well, in my opinion, if you get it for less than about 17,000 shillings for a 64GB model, then it's still a good buy. That is if you are loyal to the brand and have a 5S or older. Otherwise, get a good Android phone and forget about it, for Christ's sakes. As always, if you liked the video, you know what to do. Just hit that like button. If you didn't, comment below and tell me how I can improve on the quality of my videos. Also, hit that subscribe button because you're going to be doing a lot more videos on this channel about technology. As always, peace and stay safe.